Thank you all. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today as we start our first web series with this Transition Tuesdays. And just so everybody knows what we're going to be talking today, it's just basically, finding and reading tuition bills. Today's topic might be a simple topic and yet frustrating just because a lot of things quickly may change from time to time. So without any further ado, I will just jump in right in. And before I start, I'm just going to give a little bit about myself. So my name is Robert Sagastumi. My pronouns are he, him, his, they, them. I am one of the student advisors with the Scholarship Foundation. And the picture on your right side, you'll see our other staff members and also advisors. So we have Felipe, who is our senior advisor at the Scholarship Foundation. We also have Teresa, who is our advising director, and also Dominisha Newton, who is one of the advisors as well, along with me. And as we continue this conversation, I just want to really quick say who we are. So we're at the Scholarship Foundation of St. Louis. We've been around for 100 plus years now, and we're a nonprofit organization. And we, have the belief that an educated society is essential to a healthy democracy, and also that post-secondary education should be available to everyone despite their socioeconomic status. So that is our main core beliefs. And we also provide, access to post-secondary education through 3 different platforms. The first one being scholarships and interest-free student programs. The second one is our advising program, where all of our advisors provide the support necessary for students. And lastly, our advocacy platform. And this is where foundation scholars advocate at school, state, and federal level. And within this platform, we have the League of Student Advocates, which is a bi-state collective of students just working on different policies that impact them directly. So that is a little bit about who we are as a foundation. So as we continue with this conversation, a few things to just keep in mind really quick is that, as we talk about this information, feel free at any point to just visit your college and university's web portal, because a lot of the information that we are presenting today was found through those portals. So make sure that you get very, very familiar with your web portal as you're transitioning into college. The second one is just if you are not sure about anything or something, or if something might be unclear, do not hesitate to ask any questions. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, or if you would like to type the question in the chat section, feel free to do it. And one of my colleagues will just say, hey, you have a question there, and I'll be able to respond to that. And just lastly, again, this information keeps changing and evolving every time you log in. So just keep in mind also that you hold the information and the answer to all of most of these questions. So check in with your friends, peers, and your counselors, and they'll be able to help you navigate through this process. So the next thing that I just want to kind of help us understand is why we are here. And the idea of helping students with this Transition Tuesday session is just that college can be a lot of new things, new vocabulary, new experiences, just new places that we'll be going to and things like that. So as you're transitioning to that, we want to make sure that you have the information that you need for that process. If there are no questions, I'll just jump into the next slide. And this is just some community agreements that we have among all of us to foster a space where we can communicate among each other. And the first one, the first idea is to have one mic. And this is just a reminder to ourselves and others to minimize any background noise by muting ourselves. But when necessary, if you would like to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself, ask the question, or again, you can use the chat section to drop a question. The other item in here is a step up and step back. And this is just the idea that if you would like to share any information on any point, to have the the opportunity encouraged to like step up, ask that question. And if you're also having an opportunity to like really pay attention to how much you're interacting, if you're interacting a lot, feel free to like step back and let others just join the conversation and ask those questions. And lastly, the last one is just trying to remind everyone this is a judgment-free zone. So if you're a person who would like to participate anonymously and would not like your name to be given out or anything like that, you can send me directly a message through the chat system, and then I'll post that question to the group, keeping your information or name safe so I can ask the question. So before we move on, I would like to check in with all this information so far. Does anybody have any questions? Great. I'll take it as a no. And if you do not hesitate to like stop me or anything like that. So before we dive into like just finding and reading some of this information, we'll just get an idea of like basic terminology. So just to start with, we're going to be covering, what is a cost of attendance. So the cost of attendance is everything a school expects a student to need to cover for one school year as a student. So this will definitely include your direct and indirect cost, which leads the question of what is a direct cost. So direct costs are basically expenses that are paid directly to the university or institution that you'll be attending. So this typically includes your tuition and fees. It can also include your room and housing, and also it may include your board and meal plans. So those are some of the direct costs that you might want to keep in mind. The indirect costs are expenses that are not paid directly to your institutions, but they also contribute to the expenses associated with being a student. So if you think about it for a little bit, this will include your textbooks. This can include personal expenses for students who might be parents. Childcare would also be an indirect cost. So all of those expenses that necessarily do not have to be paid to your school, but are still part of your equation as a student should be considered as well. And the last section, and I forgot to like go through this, but I'll add it right now, is your expected family contribution. And the expected family contribution is a number that is provided to you and the financial aid officer that needs to look at your financial aid package. And this is found after you submit your FAFSA application. This is one of the reasons why you would complete the FAFSA application. And towards the end, the FAFSA provides this expected family contribution. And this is just basically an indicator of what the FAFSA application indicates that a family's ability to pay towards your education might be. And it is just often also used by financial aid officers to determine a student's eligibility for either federal, state, and some of the institutional aid offered during a school year. Any questions before I move forward? Okay, great. So here we have the financial aid office. This is an office that you might want to get familiar with, and the office is a institution that is responsible for preparing and communicating information on your financial aid. this office or this offices will help students apply for and receive like student loans, grants, scholarship, and any other types of financial aid. So they will be able to walk you through what are some of the aid packages that or aid types that are available to you. The cashiers and bursar's office, they're basically the same office. It truly depends though on who do you ask or what institution you go to. They may use one or the other name, but some of these institutions, like I said, use either or. But their main function is to just accept the payments from students and just campus communities, just to ensure the accurate posting of any transaction that happens with your financial transactions are made specifically to your account. So if you have any questions about your account or anything like that, this is the office that you'll be talking to in terms of your transactions. The other term that we would like to make sure we address is your financial aid package. And this is just a collection of different types of aid. So they can range from your federal, state, and institutional, which it is intended to help you pay for the gap of your ability to pay. So basically your EFC, and also the cost of attendance with your financial aid package. So, and once that equation is all put together and they do the difference, you have what's called the unmet need. And the unmet need is typically defined as the difference between the cost of attendance and the financial aid package. So you might want to check in with your financial aid office or cashier bursar office to get an idea if you're unclear of what the unmet need for your specific colleges for that year. Any questions? Okay, I see none. And I'll move on. Let's see. Okay, in this section really quick, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing a quick video of one of the platforms, electronic platforms that is used by this college. So this right here, we have a example of Mizzou Touchnet. There are different types of electronic platforms used by different universities. So for example, MU, UMKC, and UMSL use the Touchnet version. And then St. Louis Community College, Baylor University in Texas may use something called Banner. So this is just one example that I was able to find that I think is really helpful, and it just provides an idea of how to navigate this. So I'll go ahead and play the clip. Let me know if you have the audio playing, okay?
Touchnet is the online platform where students and their authorized users will have access to view monthly billing statements, view account activity, make student account payments, and set up direct deposit. This short video highlights the most common features students access in the Touchnet portal. We will start with setting up authorized users. Students will need to grant access to authorized users in this application also. This access is different than the additional authorized access granted in MyZoo. Access will allow individuals to view the financials on the student account within Touchnet. To add Touchnet access, select the Authorized Users button on the right side of the screen under My Profile Setup. This page allows you to add and manage access. Click the Add Authorized User tab, enter the user's email address. Notice that the default is to grant access to all, but you can edit and remove access to the individual sections. When you select Continue, a new window pops up with the terms. Put a check in the box next to I agree. Once this is completed, the authorized user will receive an email to complete the setup process for their access. For real-time activity on a student's account, you can view account activity. Under account activity, you can view the financials by semester. This will include charges, payments, as well as any anticipated financial aid. Click the arrow to the left of the item description to see individual entries that make up the total for that item. You can filter activity since last statement, a date range, or full account activity. There are also options to print and export the activity to Excel if desired. Next, let's look at billing statements. Click the View Statement box to open the Statements page. If you click the View box next to the statement you want to open, you will be able to see the statement detail. Statements are available in Touchnet around the 15th of the month. All students and authorized users will receive an email notification when a new statement is available. In the upper right box of the statement is the total amount due, the minimum payment, and the due date. The first bill for the fall semester will be generated on July 15th and is due on August 10th. You have the option to pay the statement balance in full. This option avoids finance charges. You can also elect to split the balance into 4 payments over a 4-month period by paying the minimum amount due from the billing statement by its due date. If you choose not to pay each billing statement in full, the student account will incur a 1% finance charge each month on the unpaid balance until it is paid in full. You must pay at least the minimum amount due by the designated due date each month to keep your account in good standing and to avoid being assessed a late fee. To make a payment through Touchnet, you can click the Make Payment box or the tab at the top. You can also access from the cashier's webpage by clicking the Pay Your Bill tab. You can change the payment date to a preferred date. You have the option to pay the statement balance in full by selecting the current statement amount, or select the Pay by Term option and edit the amount you want to pay. Remember to pay the minimum amount due by the 10th of the month. There is a personal note box at the bottom of the payment page. Anything entered here is just for the student or authorized payer and will not be seen by university staff. Students, and if granted that permission, authorized users can view the 1098-T on Touchnet. The 1098-T is a tax statement that colleges and universities use to provide the total dollar amount paid by the student for qualified tuition and related expenses in a single tax year. When a student has a credit balance on their student account, usually due to an excess of financial aid, a refund will be processed for the credit amount. We highly recommend that all students set up a direct deposit in Touchnet for refunds. Start the setup process by clicking the Security Settings tab. Setting up an account for electronic deposits will ensure that your refund is received in a timely manner by expediting your money directly to your bank. If an authorized user is taking out a Parent Plus loan and there is excess from that loan, the authorized user can also set up a direct deposit that will be used only for refunds for the Parent Plus loan. You can access a PDF tutorial with instructions and screenshots for setting up a direct deposit, making a payment, and add an authorized user. You can go to the cashier's webpage, Billing and Payments, go to Paying Your Bills, and scroll down to the Touchnet how-tos.
Great. Before I move to the next section, I do want to check in with everybody to see if any of you have any questions about what you just heard or saw through that video.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Aaron.
So will every university have like the same basic features as Mizzou's?
That is a great question. So in all honesty, it will definitely vary based on the university that you'll be attending. So they may have similar platforms with different terminology. So you might want to just start browsing their website and see what type of terminology they might be using while you're looking to create your own portal and things like that. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
question. Absolutely. Any other questions? Great. And just really quick, and one of the reasons why I shared with this video is with you all is because it has really great information. So if you're wanting to go back to it, I'll drop a link here with an infographic that I have the link to this video just to go back and keep in mind some of the informations that they provided. Because one of the things that really stood out to me throughout the video is that important piece of the direct deposit. If at any point you would receive like a refund from the institution, creating a direct deposit will make sure to have that money sent to your account, bank account, faster than having that refund being mailed to your home address or the current address that you're stating to reside. So those are a few things to keep in mind as you're going through this process. So next here, I'll just want to go over a few things that you might be on the lookout whenever you're seeing a monthly statement. The first one is being the balance from the last statement. So this is the account balance from like your most recent monthly billing statement. So any charges that are coming from that month, that's where you'll see it. So as you see it, it is highlighted here on the bullet that has number 1. The next item that you might be looking for is other charges. And the other charges may have charges and credits that are coming from like different departments on campuses. They may include any like financial charges and may also include any like late payment fees within that section. So it is always a good thing to look at your itemized statement and see if there's any other charges that have occurred. And if they're not specifically stating what those other charges are, you might want to call the office and find out what those charges are as well. The next one is your payments and credits. So here on the bullet number 3, you'll be able to see that there is a line that says payment and credits. And this just includes any payments on the student's account made by you or by anyone else on your behalf. And these credits are applied to your monthly payment account. So making sure that, those are being posted on your billing statement will be super important as well. The next item that we want to make sure that it's happening is your refunds. So section here 4 will say, e-check payment. So it looks like this person may have a direct deposit already set up because it says e-check, so electronic check. So you might want to be able to make sure that you have that already set up, because any credit balance paid from the student account since the last monthly payment, it will be sent to you by 2 ways, either your direct deposit or your mail. So make sure whichever you prefer to conduct and do that. The other one is your anticipated aid, and this is just financial aid that has been awarded to you, but that has not been applied or posted to your account. So in here, you'll see in this section, bullet 5, that this person is waiting for anticipated aid of $1,615. The next item is number 6, and this is your account balance. So this is the total amount due on your student account for a specific or given period. So you might want to check that as you're looking at your account. The next item is your adjusted amount due. So that is right here, your total amount. That is your current balance minus the anticipated aid. So any opportunity you have to read and review this and look at what your account balance minus your anticipated aid will give your adjusted amount. So right here, you're seeing that the person still owes an amount of $3,945.50. The next item is your minimum payment. So right here, you can barely see that, but it's a little cut off. So that is your amount that you have to make as a minimum payment. And the last one is your message code. So sometimes you'll see some code in the information bill. Often this code will have like a description of what that means. But if you're not sure what that code means, it's always good practice to call the office. Here, I'm presenting a different monthly bill statement. And the reason why is because it completely looks different. And that is the idea that I want to make sure that you have is that it's different, but the same elements are there. So you're still saying your balance from last statement. This person has a 0. Here's an itemized list of the fees that this student has incurred for that semester. And then here's the anticipated aid that is provided to that student. So once the balance is deducted from the anticipated aid, you see that the adjustment amount due is $987.06, and that will be sent to the student as a refund. And it may depend whether you have a direct deposit or not, that you'll get that in the mail or electronically. So just quick reminder that we have other sessions that are coming in the future. So June 29th, we'll have one in understanding tuition payment plans. So that will go in depth about just different tuition payment plans that you have as a student. And then followed by that, just completing student loan entrance counseling process, followed by just creating a graduation plan with getting an understanding of credit hours and consideration. And the last one will be just finding and accessing resources that are made available to students on campus. So those are a few quick series that we'll have throughout the month of June, July, and August, first week of August. And if you have any questions, I know we're running out of time, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. Cool. I don't see any right now. So just really quick, thank you so much for joining us and holding with us in this space. And if you have any questions or contacts, you can always follow up with us. And this is our contact information. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Is there any